Welcome to the updated Killjoy guide on Fracture. If you're seeing this video, you guys probably seen my recent one where I made a guide on Fracture right when it came out. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys all the different updated stuff I have. I have a couple more setups since I've been playing a lot more ranked with Killjoy in this map. I also have retake swarm lineups with alt combination for retakes on both sides. I'm going to show you guys all the attacking spots since the attacking alt spots have changed. Before we get into this, from now until December 10th, my G Fuel code is 30% off. We recently got sponsored by G Fuel. You can see a massive collection of G Fuel behind me. So if you're interested in trying G Fuel or upgrading your stash of G Fuel, make sure you use code CAMB for 30% off. All right, so let's get into the Killjoy setups on the B site. First, I start by putting my turret up here. Make sure it's over to the right more. This is key. All right. So this is one of the two setups that I run over here. So I'll throw a first swarm right here, and then I'll throw another swarm right here. So this way, both of these swarms are hidden. They're a little bit harder to break, and they can get some good value. Then you pair this with an alarm bot anywhere on the staircase. Don't put it up here. Put it back up on the staircase somewhere like this. All right. So when they start coming in, turrets start shooting them about right here. They'll be on top of this swarm, and then they'll try to run in. And you can either use the turret as activation or the alarm bot or both. And this is absolutely melts the entire enemy team as they run in. I've gotten a lot of value out of this. If I don't get kills off this, I get a lot of damage and then I kill them off the alarm bot. It just is really good. And the position I usually play off of this setup right here is this spot right here. And I just kill them as they funnel in. All right, so here's another setup I like to run. This one requires you to put the turret even more to the right. And then this setup is one swarm right here, so it's nice and hidden. And then you toss another swarm over here on the corner, like so. And then you can put the alarm bot anywhere on the staircase. Usually I end up putting it at the top of the staircase, like so. So when they run in, it takes a little bit longer for the turret to see you, right when you get on top of the swarms, right? And then you can pop both of these, and then it'll melt you as you run into the site and try to clear everything. This turret can also be broken early from the other side, for example, and that's the reason I like this turret, is because if the dish players are running up on you fast in a tower, this turret will spot them when they start crossing over here. So then you can start to be worried, wait, my turret shot, wait, they're not main. So then you could pay attention to them going up in the tower. So this turret isn't always for activation. Use the alarm bot for activation first, and then the turret is used to hold both sides, help hold up the people and get them stuck in the swarms a little bit and cause a distraction while also holding the other side. So you can use this to kind of anchor the site down. All right, let's go over a few setups on the A site. This is one that I like to use. Majority of the time I put my turret right up here on this box. The reason I do that is because one, it'll spot this way. If any enemies come up here, they'll get spotted. On top of that, this turret spots early into main, so they get out to here, or they come out here, then the turret spots them. And these are the setups I like to run with this. Here's one of them. I put a swarm right here, put a swarm right here, then I toss the alarm bot left of the doorway. Now the only issue with this setup is if the enemies are slightly smart, they will just, you know, break this one as they come in. But it gets a good value because the second this turret shoots, you can pop this swarm and it'll nuke this entire corner, and then they'll either run in or fall back, and then if they run in, they get melted by that swarm. But the only fault to that one is a lot of the time that swarm does get broken. So if your enemies are smarter, you're higher elo, etc., right? You can run a setup that's a little bit different. Something like this is what I would do. Alarm bot in the same spot. That swarm in the same spot, and then you put a swarm right here. So what this will look like is they'll come out, right? You pop this swarm, and then they always run in a site. It's important with Killjoy to understand the pathing of the enemy. They like to path into the site, or they'll path up the stairs. Usually they are not going to path this way, almost never, because they're going to run in the site to try to get cover, try to plant the bomb. So that setup right there will wield you a bunch of damage. And when I play on either of those setups, I usually play either all the way back here and take fights like this, or I play like super up close. But this one's a little bit more predictable, and it's a little bit harder to get kills on when you play close to the box. You could just play right here. The second the turret shoots main, you can swing and try to get one, or, you know, either way you want to do it. I've done this to get a lot of picks and create the advantage for my team. Now, a different thing I run is I'll do something like this. I'll keep the turret in the same spot. I'll drop an alarm bot right underneath drop, and I'll pair it with like one swarm to the right more, because when people drop, they go off to the left. They run into sight this way. So You have the turret to help you hold a main. You can peek contact off the turret. The turret will also shoot drop if people jump out of drop or start fighting drop. And then you got the swarm. And then you could either toss the swarm here in this corner. Sorry, I messed that one up. Or you can toss it here. Either way you want to do it.
Swarm grenade out.
And then you can have both areas locked down. But usually as Killjoy, you focus your util A main or you focus your util one area to try to get kills and try to do a bunch of damage with it instead of splitting your util up. Because the only issue with the drop swarm is they can just, a lot of people do this. And you're not going to get any value off the swarms at all. They'll just jump right over it. So be careful with that. Killjoy post-plant swarms to the B site from stairs side. All right. So you run to this corner right here and you aim your crosshair right on this tree a little bit low right here.
Placing swarm grenade.
What this does, it'll land default box right here and they won't be able to defuse. Now if you lower this swarm a little bit more, like right here, then it'll land on top of the box and it's a little bit more fancy because then they'll, you know, it creates a harder vision for them to know the range of the swarm, so it might catch them off guard and do more damage. Now here's another lineup that I like to do. This one is really good for attacking the site. So you pull up and you aim your crosshair right at this little, like this little edge on the leaf, and you just throw right there. And this will clear one of the most commonly held angles that people sit is back here. It'll force them to swing out either left or right and take a bite on your team. While you're taking the B site, I suggest you throw that swarm every single round. Post plant lineups from the arcade side for the B site. So first thing you do is you pull up to the middle of this box. It doesn't have to be perfect. Pull up to the middle of this box. Use the right diamond. So the right diamond of your throw, you aim it right into this corner right here. Give that a throw. That'll clear perfectly back in this corner plant. So the other lineup is from the exact same spot. You pull up to this box right here in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. You use the line in between your alarm bot and your swarm, and you put it on the corner of this right here, and you aim it up over.
Placing swarm grenade.
And this will land on top of the box, cause a little bit of extra confusion, and it'll stop anyone from planting from default. Post plant lineups on the A site on Fracture. What you want to do is you want to pull up right here, aim yourself in the middle of this as best as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Post plant lineups to the A site. So what you do is you pull up to this thing right here, you line up in the middle as best as you can. Doesn't need to be perfect. Then you use the line in between your alarm bot and your swarm, and the left side of that you put it right here.
Placing swarm grenade.
This one bounces off the wall and it lands on this little ledge right here. So it basically gives the enemies a hard time, and it makes it hard for them to tell the range of the swarm, and it'll stop the enemy from defusing this fight. Now you're like, Cam, you're kind of not safe in this spot. Yeah, I understand. So that's why I made a safer one. So what you can do is put yourself in this corner. That way you're not exposed to any angles. You could just aim your crosshair up in this top left corner of this building, this little anywhere in this corner here. Give that a throw. It'll bounce off the wall and it'll just land perfectly default, so they won't be able to defuse the spike. Now, if for whatever reason you're stuck on this side of the map in a post plant situation with Killjoy and the bomb's planted default, you can pull up to this corner right here and you basically take your crosshair and aim it above this building like so. Give that a throw. And this will land on the lip. Sometimes it'll land on the lip. It's very particular. If it does miss, it'll land on the ground right here. Either way, making it so the enemies cannot defuse the spike. Killjoy ult plus swarm retake combination on the A side. So what you do is you just put up your ult right up close to this wall as best as you can. They can't spam it. Then what you do is you pull up to this line right here as fast as you can. You aim your crosshair right here. Give that a throw. So right as the ult goes off, you pop this swarm. The enemies can't at all sit in that corner, so they either one, take a bunch of damage from the swarm, or two, get detained and you'll just get a bunch of value. Retake ult for B site plus swarm combination. I would plant it out a little bit more so it gets a little bit more value, but not spammable. So not here, but like right here. Put your kill ult down. Then what you do is you put yourself into this corner by holding just W. And then what you do is you line up with the middle of this crack up at the tree line. You give that a throw. So when you pop this, the enemies can't stand anywhere, and they either get detained by the Killjoy ult like before or take a bunch of damage, and then it makes this retake easy for you. Now you're like, well, Cam, you could just retake from underneath without any issues. Yes, you can, only if you flank. So this is where we get into the attacking ult spots and other stuff like that, and you could also use these for retake. So now if you're pulling up on the flank on the enemy, you can always run underneath and put your ult down right here to retake the site. Now back when I made my original video, this wall was spammable. You could shoot it with a phantom and break the ult, but now the only way to break this ult is by using Sova ult, Brim ult, or freacture. So you can use this ult to retake the bomb site if you're coming up from the flank. And you could also use this Killjoy ult if you're coming up from the flank. You could either put it in this corner, will cover the whole site, or you can put it in this corner and it'll cover the whole site, right? You can use these to retake. But most of the time, if you're a Killjoy player and you're coming in, you're holding the A site and you're coming in for a B retake, you usually come through mid. And that's why you can use that swarm plus alt retake combination to give yourself more value. But if you do pull up on the flank, obviously the other alt spots are better. Or if you don't save a swarm, pull up on the flank and then you could use those alt spots. Alt spots for the A bomb site with Killjoy when you're attacking, the only good spot is this spot right here. Now, you could say this spot right here is good, but it isn't. I planted my ult directly in this corner before, and people can like spam it through this part right here, and they can break it through any of these angles. So you got to be really careful when you use this spot, because it will probably get broken. Killjoy mains, attacking on this map, your ult is so powerful. Unless they have a breach, you get so much value from your ult. So make sure you're farming 3 orbs around, given the fact that there's 4 orbs on the map. You can run over here, get this orb, run underneath the tunnel, come around, have a jet throw smoke for you, grab this orb, run to the A bomb site, and grab the other orb in A main. You have one teammate come over here and hold this angle so they don't get the orb. But then you can get 3 orbs and then die. And now you're getting your ult every other round. And now you'll be able to have that level of power in your games. And you'll be able to get free bomb sites on attack like 3 or 4 times that half, or even more. That is absolutely everything I have for Killjoy on this map. Now, if you guys want to see me play Killjoy in action, you guys want to see me play Killjoy live, you want to see my gameplay live, check out my Twitch, twitch.tv/CaMbCaMb. And on top of that, I'd really appreciate if you guys hit the sub button and drop a like on this video. And if you have anything you want to share with me, join my Discord. The link will be in the description of the video. You can be like, yo, I got this Killjoy swarm lineup for this spot. If you guys have any attacking swarms for this map, I would love to see it. Attacking swarms that clear commonly held positions, I live for that. So either that, or if you have any really good setups, join the Discord. There's a channel for lineups. Tag me, let me know. I'd love to see it. Thank you guys for watching and have a good one.